Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
All right, well, I'm going to move right into, I'm going to try to see if I can do this with this light like this. If you want to go into your socrative, then I would love it if you would join me in the classroom, in the socrative classroom later on. I may have some questions too. And so when we're talking about our categories of torts, we have our intentional torts. I showed you a list of all of the intentional torts you can have. And then you have, in your categories of torts, then we have negligence. This is the thing in the category of torts where most lawsuits are going to come from, negligence. It is an accidental. This is something that somebody, it was not intentional. If I go into my friend's store and there's water on the floor, she's not going to say, okay, I'm going to put some water on the floor so that when people come in here, they'll just sit down and fall. No. This is an accident that happens, and therefore, out of this event, it causes harm to another party. And so you'll see a lot of lawsuits are filed based on negligence. And to establish negligence, these are our elements that we're going to have. You have to have a duty. Did the tortfeasor owe a duty of care to the injured party? If I go into the store, I'm going to be what is in the category of what we call an invitee. I'm really not, it's not like somebody sent me an invitation to come to the store, but it is implied that I'm invited into the store. And so it has to be safe for me to come into the store. And so the store is going to have a duty to keep the water off the floor, to keep the place in a safe condition. And then you have to have a breach of the duty. Did the tortfeasor fail to exercise reasonable care? And then you have to have causation. We talked about this back when we talked about that Chipotle case. You have to have some type of link that thing, the failure to exercise reasonable care, whatever it was, the leaving of the water, is the thing that has caused my injury. I slip down and I hurt my back. Or I slip down and I break my leg. Was it that water on the floor? If my leg was already broke when I walked into the store, that's not going to be the causation. The water on the floor, even though it was a negligent act, if somebody could prove my leg was already broke, then causation is not going to be met. You have to have all of the elements. You have to have duty, breach, causation, and then you have to have damages. If I slipped down and I got up and I'm fine, I had no medical treatment, I didn't lose any work, I cannot come up with any monetary damages to show that I have damages, then that element of damages is not going to...
There will not be other payment. Okay, that doesn't sound like $700 now and payments later.
This is the plaintiff, Frances Daintree. She says the defendant's vicious and uncontrolled dog got loose, attacked her two dogs, and in the process of splitting them up, she injured her back. The defendant's a very careless person who must pay for his mistakes, and she's here seeking $5,000 for her dog's vet bills and her own injuries. This is the defendant, Anthony Ferranti. He said his dog was on a leash, but slipped out of his hand and ran towards the plaintiff's dogs. His dog slipped in one of them, but the plaintiff's other dog attacked his dog and bit him, so he retaliated. His dog was perfectly fine with other dogs. It was the plaintiff's dog who attacked first, and his dog was only defending himself. These accusers are not paying up.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Proceed to court. Litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, Douglas. Francis Datry, you were suing Anthony Ferranti
Yes.
for $5,000 in vet bills and pain and suffering as a result of his dog attacking your dog, correct?
Two dogs.
Tell me what happened, dogs.
Yes.
What happened?
I was walking my dogs back to the house on my block. He was across the street. I was already up a little further. All of a sudden, his dog comes running, and
Were your dogs on a leash?
all dogs are on a leash.
Was his dog on a leash?
Yes,
But not a human at the end of the leash.
right.
Okay.
So, and then his dog started attacking one of
What
the
kind of
dogs,
dog?
American Bull Rottweiler.
and his dog attacked one dog. I was screaming, and then all of a sudden, his dog went on to the other dog. And then he came, he pulled his dog off. And I noticed the little one did have some wounds on the back. The bigger dog seemed to be all right. So I went home, I took the little one to the vet right away and had to put 2 drains in because she showed me the x-ray. In the x-ray, there's like a pocket, she says. And if that fills up with fluid, it's going to get infected. So that's why they had to put the drains, one on each side. They had it clean, stitched, and all. So you had to put under anesthesia. So I had to go home, leave him there. Went to, the vet wanted to know if...
What had he said when he came and got his dog?
No, he apologized. He said, I'm sorry, you know. And
Did he say he got away from you? What did he say?
He says, I had the leash, and the dog pulled and got away from me.
Okay.
So,
Did he say, I'll pay for the vet bills?
well, that night, he said, he can give me at least $700. He said he was unemployed, and then, when things start picking up, I can give you monthly payments.
Okay.
I said, okay. The next day, my other dog was limping and a little swollen on the shoulder. So when I picked the hair up, I saw a little tiny puncture wound. So now I brought that dog to the vet. And it was a bite wound, the vet said. And it was pus and all, so she had to lance it a little, clean it, put on antibiotics. So I called him, told him about Harley, and he says,
Did you ever get a check from him?
I did.
May I see the check? You didn't cash a check because the check had a restriction
When
on
he
the
came to my
number.
house, he gave me the check like this.
Okay.
He said, Fran, can you cash it tomorrow? The next day, I said, no problem.
Okay, can I see the
So
check?
I didn't open the check.
Right.
'Cause that day,
And then when you opened the check, what'd you see?
on the memo part, he has veterinarian, only payment to be made.
There will not be other payment. Okay, that doesn't sound like $700
So I said,
payment.
okay, if I sign that check, does that mean I'm already accepting
All right, what's going on, Mr. Ferranti? What happened that day?
I was walking out of my house. I had the dog backwards on my hand. I went to go close the door.
What is backwards on your hand?
Well, the leash was this way instead of this way. In other words, I wasn't holding the dog this way. I was holding the dog with the leash coming out of the back of my hand.
Okay.
I went to go close my door, and apparently she was across the street. My dog spotted them and ran across the street, started to sniff the larger dog, and then her Boston Terrier started to nip at my dog. And then my dog turned and attacked her dog.
Do you have the vet bills? Has your dog ever gotten away from you before?
No, it didn't. No. And
How long have you had the dog?
9 years. Since a puppy.
There's 3 vet bills because Harley, like 4 days later,
Can you hand the vet bills over?
had to go
What were you
back
about
to
to
the
try to
vet.
hand me?
When you say Rottweiler, I would like to show you a picture.
No, you said Rottweiler. I don't know what your dog is.
Well, you made a face and people...
No, what happened is the audience gasped.
Okay, all right. Okay.
That's really what
All right.
made you feel bad. But,
I just want to show you what my dog looks like. And
oh, she's so cute.
it's
But what is it? It's an American
Bull Rottweiler.
Bull Rottweiler. Now listen, y'all got me wrong. Just because
when you say
we all cringe when we hear the words pit bull or Rottweiler, I think a little less, but still, it doesn't mean anybody's blaming the dog. What the law does is the law never looked at what do the dogs do. Nipping your dog is a perfectly rational response to having a dog come at you and your buddy. So, but it doesn't matter because we don't expect rationalism from dogs. See, dogs do what dogs do, they're animals. So what we expect is that the owners are going to be careful, that they're going to mend their fences, that they're going to keep their dogs on leashes, and that they're going to have a good grasp on the leash. So when that happens, or when it fails to happen, then there's consequences, and the consequences are pretty bad financially for her. So why should she eat it? And why would you hand her a check when you had said to her that you would do payments, and then tiny down here, there will be no more payments? You told her, I'll give you $700 down, make payments.
Yes, I did.
So then why? This is kind of sleazy. Well, what were you hoping the poor lady would cash it?
Welcome back to the People's Court. I'm Harvey Levin here. So, if you're holding your dog and the dog gets just away from you, but you're trying and you're holding it, have you violated the leash law?
Yeah, you have.
How? Why?
Because it's your responsibility. It's your dog, and you should be able to keep control of it.
Fair enough, but I did have the dog on a leash and I was holding it. The dog just got away from me.
How well were you holding the dog?
I guess not well enough, huh?
Raise your hand. It's on you.
Interesting. What do you say?
Well, yeah, same thing. If it's your responsibility, you've got to check the lead, the harness, and whatnot. So,
I looked at you and I thought you were probably going to be from Philly or something. That really surprised me going inside the courtroom.
Well, I didn't want to hand the check and then end up in court at the same time. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
So,
That was going to happen because had you yes or no? Had you told her I'll give you $700 down, make payments?
Yes, I did. I told her.
So then why? This is kind of sleazy. Well, what were you hoping the poor lady would cash it and then you'd have a defense?
No, not at all. I just didn't know where it was going to go.
Yeah, but you were trying to get it to go a certain place that is not what you had said. And that's kind of sleazy, frankly. Wow. All right, now what is this 50? You're suing for the dog's injuries, but you're also suing for injuries to you?
Yes.
Pain and suffering, or your dog's pain and suffering? What do you mean? Your pain and suffering. How so?
I've had back and neck problems.
Before this?
Before this. 2015 was the last time I saw my pain management, because that's how good I was doing. Between the trauma, the two dogs, and the little one especially, I had to pick up, bring outside and all. So
when did you have to pick up and bring?
After the surgery and all, because
why did you have to pick up? If you have a bad back, what's he do? Who's that guy?
Who's
that fellow?
My brother, who doesn't. Nobody lives with me now.
Okay,
I'm all by myself. So it was. So now, because of the trauma, picking up these dogs.
I know, but don't pick up the dogs if you have a bad back. You could figure out a contraption where you can wheel a little wagon.
Well,
there's other things you could do.
I had to bring them down the steps outside. The bigger one, had to go in and out also.
How are you going to prove that you are damaged to the extent of $1,980?
I had to go back to the pain management.
Right, but you might have had to anyway. Did pain management give you something saying that you have a different pain now, or that this is caused by the... Right, that's what you would need to have in order to be able to collect an additional $2,000 from him, is some proof that the dog affair caused this. And frankly, it would only be the dog affair insofar as the pushing, pulling. It would never be that you chose to carry your dog down the steps, which you shouldn't be doing. That's just the way it is. So, but I am going to find the defendant liable for the $3,019.66 in vet bills. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Disaster. What element of negligence? See, there's a whole bunch of, and this is how we do it in law school. We put a whole bunch of facts in there, just a whole bunch of stuff, just googly-gop. all about the dog, all about the dog. And then the guy goes outside, he's asking about the leash law. And that's all well and fine, but for her personal injury negligence claim, what element of negligence is missing in the personal injury portion of the case regarding the injuries to the dog owner's back? Is it going to be A, duty, B, breach of duty, C, causation, or D, damages? A, duty, B, breach of duty, C, causation, or D, damages? So we got 50-50 here. I'm going to ask somebody to raise their hand if they know the answer to this question. Yes, sir.
Causation?
Causation. What did she say? What did the judge say? She said that...
She needs a link.
Yeah. She said, if she had said, okay, the dogs were scrapping, and I bent down to pick up my dog and I hurt my back, maybe. But she admits that she has a pre-existing condition. I don't see how she's going to ever be able to prove that, unless she has a doctor who says this dog incident is what caused her back injury, then she's not going to have causation. She had damages. She said this is how much it cost. She had her damages. So it can't be D. So it's C, causation. And so this is how we have to be able to look at the elements and determine